Virgo. Welcome to your look at the lunar eclipse, which is everybody else's extended, but it's your general, and then November 2023 is your extended, which is available now. So I'm just going to start with something personal, which I don't usually do anymore. I have this thing, if I'm too upset or if I'm too hurt, where I'll just stop talking. Like, I just won't talk. Can't talk right now. I've been doing it since I was a kid. Virgo moon. And I'm actually going through one of those periods right now, where I'm trying very hard to cope with what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. So I really don't want to talk. But the really funny thing about you guys is that when I don't know what to say, when I don't want to talk to anybody, when I can't fathom what's going on, I still want to talk to you. I mean, you can be hypercritical and selfish. But you're really, really wonderful people, and you have such a healing energy. You can be self-righteous, you can be selfish, you can be all kinds of things, but you're such good people. And when one is hurting, it's very comforting to interact with your energy. So although I don't think I'm okay, I feel like this is, like, it's always fun. How else do I say it? I've been trying not to say it. No matter what's going on, being with you guys is just always a good time. It's easy, it's fun, it's healing, it's protective, it's understanding. Virgo energy wraps you up and says, okay, we'll get around to putting words to this and talking about it, but for now, let's just be here. So let's just be here. All right, this lunar eclipse, it's exactly what you want. So it's time for you to focus on your looks. It's time for you to focus on your power of seduction. It's time for you to focus on that golden tongue, that communication. It's where your sexy definitely shines. It's time to talk your way into pretty much any kind of relationship, anyone's bed, whatever you're looking for. Your looks, your focus on your looks, your sweetness, and your ability to seduce with your words is going to really get you whomever you have your sights on. But here's a little advice. Make it honest. I mean, you could spin anything into gold, but why not just pick the truth and, wrap that in gold? Because whomever you lay it on right now and whomever you seduce, they may stick around for a while, and you don't want to have to make lies true later. Just say it how it is. Within your seduction, don't make your seduction something false. Base it in something true. Base it in reality. Be honest. It's so charming and disarming. Do it. It's good. And also this lunar eclipse is a time where you're really honest with yourself. You're using that hypercritical eye and you're looking at yourself and you're going, okay, you know, I like what I see in the mirror, but I'm not offended at the fact that I see that I kind of want to do this, that. And, you know, you have the strength of character that you can look at yourself objectively and be like, okay, yeah, you know, because you understand that the excellence of the finished product is what's important, not your feelings. And I've always really appreciated that about you. Okay. So we're going to keep talking about the lunar eclipse. Now, everything we talk about from here on out is all about the lunar eclipse. But within, like in that lens, let's talk about Mars and Scorpio. So this is very much what you need to know for Mars and Scorpio as well, which is there are things that you know, you're not going to broach subjects, you're not going to broach things that are not going to get talked about unless like the dead are raised. You know what's happening here. Things you've been avoiding. And Mars and Scorpio is not having it. Mars and Scorpio is like, say what you gotta say it with your chest. Please stop running from this. Whatever it is, whatever, doesn't have to be relationship based, it could be anything. But let it out. With some, you know, let's do it with a little conviction, with some fire, please. Now for Virgo risings, it's all about communication. It's gonna get very, very, very hot, right? There's this, for Virgo rising, what's happening now is you're being imbued with this Scorpio lust. It's deep, dark water that's so deep, dark that it's almost like mud, like earthy in a way, like you can get into it. You can be sick with this energy. You can get real, like that way that you guys get, you know, where you get like dirty. Do you know, are we saying too much today? Like, you know, that way that you get, like that. Also, did you know that DJ Envy is a Virgo and his wife just came out and said that she faked every orgasm that she ever... Why people do y'all like that? That's so mean. Okay, the High Priestess and the Hierophant in reverse. Okay, so one of the things that we have to talk about is money. You are getting pushed out of your comfort zone, and you already started feeling this since the solar eclipse on the 14th. On the 28th, this culminates into a realization. But the universe is pushing you since the 14th to basically make you uncomfortable and push you into a new direction to make money. The old way, the traditional way in which you have been making it, it's either not enough, you're too bored with it, or you really just, it's time for some other reason, something in that environment. It could be negative for you in some way, but like, it's time. You gotta go now. And so this is a little troublesome, right? Because the High Priestess is like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna let things happen around me. And you know, and the Hierophant's like, yeah, if I was like this, yeah, you could stay exactly where you are. That's cool, I got you. But like, everything is changing. This to me, in this reading now, after, you know, the London Stock Exchange being closed for, what was it, 80 minutes last Friday, this is like, this isn't standing anymore. Since Uranus went into Taurus, I've been screaming about this. The banking system has to evolve. It has to change. So in a very real way, this is speaking to current events as well, but like, you can't sit back right now. It's time to allow the universe to make you uncomfortable so you can make some changes when it comes to how you make money. Now, like I said, if that means you want different streams of income, however that pans out for you, great. But there has to be some, bottom of the deck, there has to be some movement. This High Priestess energy, it's very powerful, right? But for you, you use it like a crutch. You use it as a shield. It's something to hide behind. You know, the High Priestess, you're like hiding behind her skirts. That's not even High Priestess energy. That's pretending to be in High Priestess energy. That's using it as an excuse. These cards here from the beginning, Judgment, King of Wands, you need to re-engage with your life, right? you need to, Mercury is also in Scorpio. So it's not just Mars that's in Scorpio. So Mercury is also in Scorpio. So that's like, and it's conjunct Mars. Okay? So there's a lot of things that have built up, especially in the family. Do you see? You have sat back and watched a lot of fuckery, and especially in the family. And all that stuff is culminating with Mars in Scorpio. Now Mercury's in Scorpio. Now Mercury's conjunct Mars in Scorpio. The only way that this energy is directed properly is if you don't direct it at your family, if you don't direct it at your friends, if you don't direct it wherever all this energy is built up that you haven't, where you don't do this. This you reserve for your money. Don't mistake this Mars and Scorpio energy. Don't run from things anymore, confront things. That doesn't mean confront people. You don't need to go into this dramatic, like, you know, you get pugnacious, you want to fight all the time. Then that's not what this is about. Channel that aggressive, you know, the aggression, it's building in you. Mars in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, what? You in a bad mood, you pissed off. Channel that into your intellect. There are ways out there that you could be sitting down making money right now, automating shit, and you know it, and you're smart enough to do it, and all it would take you is probably 20 minutes a day for the next 6 months to figure out exactly how you do it. So even if it took you 6 months from now to start making some passive income on the side by doing absolutely fucking nothing and automating something, you could do it. Channel this energy into your financial life, into your career, into some side hustles, into some networking. Do not channel this aggression into situations where actually you need to be looking for common ground. Mercury in Scorpio makes you want to rage, but what you actually need to do right now is figure out, where is the middle between the two of us? We must agree on something. Let's start from the very fucking basic. What is it? Where can we meet? If we don't know where the middle is, that's okay. There has to be some common ground. We don't have to meet in the middle yet, but there has to be something between us. And the only way this tension gets resolved is if you stop sitting and avoiding it, and stop sitting on the sidelines of whatever this is and engage with it, but don't rage with it, just engage with it. And then what happens is that there's this tension that loosens, okay? This card, I've realized after all these years of reading cards, that this card actually has a lot to do with forgiveness. There is nothing that will keep you stuck in a situation, a relationship, a financial hardship. There is nothing that will keep you stuck like a grudge. Like something you won't let go, like something you won't forgive, because I've realized that anything you actively don't forgive actively eats at you. It's an active thing not to forgive. It's not a passive thing, right? It does something to you. And when you can't forgive, Virgo rising, when you can't forgive, it stagnates you. Because you have fallen out. Think about it. You're a Virgo. You know this. You change this. You're right before the change of the season. You usher it in. There is no. You're out of step with the natural order when you do that. When you hold a grudge. When you won't forgive. When you get stuck. When you do this, you fall out of line with everything around you that is working in a natural order. There's a certain way things happen, and going with the flow and easing through your life and letting things go so you can allow new things in. This is life, right? So when you go against that, it's very hard for this wheel to spin, but you get over it. Especially Virgo rising. Yeah, this question will be asked of you in the next 4 to 5 weeks. The question will be asked from you. Do you want to forgive? Do you want to make it work? Whatever it is, do you want to make it work? Do you sincerely want to make it work? Because then you need to start listening. Also, you need to start resting. Yes, there is a lot to do, and it's amazing and it's beautiful, and I love the drive and the packed calendar, and we love all of it, and we love success, we love drive, we love ambition, we love accomplishment. Good. Now that I got your serotonin going, all of that is great. But do you want to forgive? Do you want to make it work? Do you want to really listen? Do you want to release tension? Do you want to find common ground? And do you understand that to do a lot of that, you are going to have to choose your rest over your work? And you're not used to choosing anything over your work, not even, especially not yourself. This process, you know, first of all, that Scorpio lust, but also this buildup of stuff that really needs to be talked about. First card out, judgment. This process is tiring. Oh. You need rest, right? You need rest. So now let's talk, since we have some work and money cards out here already, now let's talk about work and money more. One of the things that being stuck somewhere does to your work and to your money is that stagnant energy, it starts to like rot things, right? So it's very possible that there have been some hits on your reputation. It's very possible that you have suffered some very unfair hits on your reputation. It's time to talk about that. It's time to air that out. It's time to work on that. It's all about your reputation. From now until December, it's time for you to work on whatever group of people you have given the wrong impression about yourself, and it's up to you to change their minds or the institution's mind or whatever it is, so they can see accurately that you are the person that you actually are and not what they think you are, and that misrepresentation may be your fault, but you can prove that you're better. Now, for anyone out there who's triggered by this and is like, I don't need to prove anything to anybody, okay, so don't. Listen, so don't. No problem. But when it comes to work and money and your reputation, I think you should reconsider. It's not like a personal relationship. It's not like I'm saying that you need to go beg some dude who's fucked up to you to take you back, or you need to prove to him that you're better. Like, it's really important to never conflate your emotions with your money. It's really, really, really important. Every time I say that, and I often say it, every time I think it, I think of Vito telling Tom, you weren't a bad consigliere. Sonny was a bad Don. Like, you can't let your emotions get in the way when it comes to your money. If it's triggering to your pride to be like, why should I have to prove that I'm better? Why should I have to uphold my reputation? Why should I need to, if people want to believe whatever they want to believe, yeah, you could be like that, but you're just fucking with your own money. I mean, if you want to do that, that's cool. I like it. I love it for you if that's what you want, but that's not what you want. So Virgo sun specifically, you know, Saturn is there in Pisces, right there, pulling on you. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're drained. Even when you're not doing much, you're like, what is this overwhelming gravity that seems to just be pulling stuff out of me? You can start to feel like you're lifting up off the ground, like you're not connected to things like you should be. You don't feel grounded. And that's when it's time to reach out to your friends. That's when it's time to take a break from work, get some rest, get some sleep. That's when it's time to shut off the idea, factory of how are we going to make these multiple streams of income. Shut off that running play in the back. Well, I would have said it like that to her, and if they did, shut all of that off and go to your friends with a off mind. Let them ground you. Be honest with them. Tell them how you're feeling. Tell them how you're doing. Listen, I told you right at the beginning. My Virgo moon couldn't I could have waited until the middle of the reading to be like, listen, I feel like shit. I don't know. But why? Why, learn from me. Why hide the fact that you're overwhelmed by something completely out of your control that's monstrous, right? Why hide it? Why hide the absolute imperfection and humanity of needing to be grounded or needing to talk to someone and not know how to do it? What you need to do with your friends is what I did at the beginning of this reading. Look, I don't know what to say. I can't talk. I feel horrendous. But also, you want to hang out a little bit. That's it. Just do that. Okay. Now, in the extended, we're going to talk about your mental and physical. We're going to talk about November. We're going to do a little bit of a recap on the solar eclipse. And then we're going to talk about your new future. And about makeovers, all kinds of makeovers. What a tease for the extended that is. But we're going to get into that right now. That extended is available on Vimeo. It's also available on Patreon. And if you're not, if you have no access to Patreon as a subscription service, you can buy it on Patreon as a standalone product now, which is cool. It's a new thing they came out with. There's also a link. Y'all have been asking again about the personal reading situation. So there's a link for personal readings below as well. And I'm going to, I have been in contact with some of you about my personal clients. I will put my email below if you're interested in that. And I think that's it. Love you. Hi Virgo. First, let's do a recap of your solar eclipse, which we didn't really get to in the general. So your solar eclipse is the prompting of what pushes you out of your comfort zone when we're talking about the High Priestess and the Hierophant in reverse. That's very much that solar eclipse energy playing itself out over the next 6 months. So you are finding new ways to make money, but the ways that you're finding are things that you've been dragging your feet about, things that you could have been doing and making money already. And so sometimes there is this strange frustration with you guys where because you should have started doing something earlier and you didn't, now you don't want to do it at all. Don't do that. Now let's talk more about the lunar eclipse and your mental and physical health. So there's some old inner conflicts that have come back around. So one of the ways this can present itself is like you used to be insecure about something. Say you have freckles or something, which are beautiful. I'm just using it as an example because so many people seem to have an issue with their freckles. But say you have freckles or something like that and you have forgotten about it and you haven't cared about it for years, and now all of a sudden every time you look in the mirror all you see is your fucking freckles. It's like that. And I'll tell you why it's happening. These preconceived ideas that you're like that you have about yourself, and you're looking at yourself and you're seeing kind of this stale hanged man version of yourself. It's good. It's good that the lunar eclipse is bringing this to you because it's giving you that judgment moment. It's giving you that like look at yourself